On a frigid January day in 1942, a group of high-ranking Nazi officials gathered in a luxurious villa on the outskirts of Berlin. The villa, situated on the shores of the Wannsee Lake, provided a serene backdrop in stark contrast to the sinister purpose of the meeting. This was not a social gathering, it was a conference convened to finalize the details of a plan that would plunge Europe into the darkest depths of human history. The Wannsee Conference, as it came to be known, marked a chilling turning point in the Nazi regime's systematic persecution of Jews, a plan euphemistically termed the final solution. The conference was called at a time when the Nazi regime, already deeply enmeshed in its campaign of terror and conquest, faced a logistical dilemma. The invasion of the Soviet Union had brought millions more Jews under Nazi control, adding to the already substantial Jewish populations across occupied Europe. The existing methods of persecution, brutal and inhumane as they were, proved insufficient to achieve the Nazis' ultimate goal, the complete annihilation of European Jewry. The Wannsee Conference was not the genesis of this genocidal plan. The seeds of hatred had been sown years earlier in the twisted ideology of the Nazi Party. Anti-Semitism, fueled by centuries-old prejudices and twisted interpretations of history, formed a core tenet of Nazi ideology. Hitler's hateful rhetoric, amplified through the Nazi propaganda machine, demonized Jews as a parasitic race, a threat to the purity of the German nation and the very fabric of European civilization. However, Wannsee marked a chilling transition from hateful rhetoric to cold, calculated planning. It was here that the Nazi leadership, driven by their warped ideology and emboldened by years of unchecked aggression, transformed their genocidal aspirations into a concrete plan of action. The Wannsee Conference was not a spontaneous eruption of hatred, but rather a calculated step in a carefully orchestrated campaign of extermination. The Wannsee Conference was not a gathering of faceless bureaucrats. It was a meeting of men who, through their actions and inactions, bear direct responsibility for the horrors that followed. Reinhard Heydrich, the chief of the Reich Security Main Office, and one of the most powerful figures in the Nazi regime, chaired the meeting. Heydrich, known for his ruthlessness and efficiency, had been tasked by Hermann Göring, Hitler's second-in-command, with coordinating the final solution. Adolf Eichmann, head of the Gestapo's Jewish Affairs Department, played a pivotal role in organizing the logistics of the Holocaust. At Wannsee, Eichmann served as secretary, meticulously recording the minutes of the meeting, a chilling testament to the bureaucratic efficiency with which the Nazis approached mass murder. His meticulous notes, later discovered by Allied forces, provide a chilling glimpse into the minds of the men who planned the genocide. The attendees represented a cross-section of the Nazi bureaucracy, including officials from the SS, the Nazi Party, and various government ministries. Their presence underscored the wide-ranging complicity of the Nazi state in the genocide. These men were not radical fanatics operating on the fringes of power. They were respected members of the German government, entrusted with upholding the law and serving the interests of their nation. The presence of these men from different branches of the Nazi apparatus highlights a chilling truth. The final solution was not the work of a small group of zealots, but rather a coordinated effort that required the cooperation and complicity of various government agencies. The Wannsee Conference was not a debate about the morality of genocide. It was a meeting dedicated to the cold, bureaucratic details of mass murder. The attendees did not question the morality of their actions. They were there to determine the most efficient means of achieving the final solution. They discussed, with chilling detachment, the logistics of transporting millions of Jews from across Nazi-occupied Europe to extermination camps that were being constructed in Poland. The conference formalized the use of gas chambers, a method already being employed in some killing centers, as the primary means of extermination. This decision, made with chilling pragmatism, reflected the Nazis' desire for a more efficient method of killing than mass shootings, which were deemed too time-consuming and psychologically burdensome for the perpetrators. The minutes of the meeting, devoid of any hint of remorse or moral qualms, read like a macabre business plan, with human lives reduced to mere statistics on a balance sheet. The Wannsee Conference did not invent the tools of genocide, it systematized them. The Nazis drew upon existing prejudices and discriminatory policies, refining and adapting them to serve their genocidal aims. The conference formalized the use of existing concentration camp infrastructure, expanding and adapting it to accommodate the mass influx of victims. The conference also addressed the legal and administrative aspects of the final solution. Jewish property was to be confiscated, effectively funding the Nazi war machine with the stolen assets of its victims. The attendees discussed the legal framework for stripping Jews of their citizenship, rendering them stateless and vulnerable, easy targets for deportation and extermination. The conference, in its chilling attention to detail, transformed genocide from an abstract concept into a terrifying reality.